Here's the latest idea, is to take 20 sixpences. People of a certain age will know that these are supposed to be lucky sixpences, and these are from 1966, which was a lucky year because that's when we won the World Cup the last time. So what I'm going to do is anneal those on the annealing blowtorch, and then we're going to bung some holes in them and make them into rings. 20. And this is going to be the little kind of like christening rings or lucky charm rings. Right, let's get on with it. Looks slightly different after they've been annealed. They certainly do not resemble the nice, shiny sixpence or anything really nice. So now, out of these 20, we need to start banging some holes in them. Yes. Well, a not inconsiderable amount of time later, we have 20 holy sixpences. Now the next part of this process is to deburr the inside of the hole using a deburring tool, and because it's difficult holding these little coins, I have a little device here that clamps them in place so that my poor old aged arthritic fingers are not too overly burdened. But as you can see, some of these edges are a bit rough and ready. Now the point of that is any imperfection now on the inside of these means as soon as I start folding it into a ring, runs the risk of splitting, and we've lost the whole coin. The ring, coin, ring, it's gone. It's scrap. Got plenty of those from the past. So I won't bore you with looking at deburring the inside of all those. Give you a quick little pass through. These are what have been punched out of middle of those. We don't drill them, they're punched out using a hydraulic 6-ton press and a special punch tool. Right, next boring bit. That is by far the worst part of making the rings. I'd forgotten that they don't fit easily, the sixpences don't fit easily in there, so I had to do it by hand holding them, which with arthritic fingers like mine is not a great deal of fun. However, they're all done now, and this is the pile of shavings from inside the owls. Now as you can see, if I can zoom in even more, any imperfection in there on the next stage will lead to the whole ring splitting. So the next stage is we need to, oh come on, focus. Oh. I'll make the camera focus, hang on. Is that better? Yeah, I think that's better. Right, so the next stage involves popping as coin there, and we use one of these tiny little stainless steel cones just to start. That's all, just like that. And all that now has done has started to fold the coin into what will become, isn't that nice, a ring. So now I've got to do that for all them. After that, we anneal them again, because every time you do something like that, it work hardens them, and that's another cause of losing the ring, is where it will split because it's too hard to work. Right, only another 19 to do. Safety first. Turn off the big tank as well. So that's those 20 now re-annealed. Next in the process, I mean, these do not look right pretty, I know, at the moment. They certainly don't look like these brand new lovely little sixpences. But we're halfway through the process now of turning these into a little ring. But before then, I'll just show you. This is my little box of holes. These are the bits that are punched out of the middle, and those are threepenny bits. Most on the top of threepenny bits, because I did a load of threepenny bits. And I don't know why I keep these. I think they're just interesting little things. But more importantly, this is me little box of unsuccesses. And just to show you what happens with a slight imperfection on that non-reed side where you punched the heel, where I punched the heel. Only takes a tiny little scratch and it will crack, and then it will split just like that. And it will happen to also, it even happens to like half crowns. There you go. Pennies. It doesn't take much, and you don't know it's going to happen until it goes. It just boom, it will just go. Now I don't mind really when that happens with some of the coins, of which I have plenty, but it'd be horrible for that to happen with an heirloom coin or something worth some money. So that's why I always tend to have my heart in my mouth when I do those. So next with these, what we do is we wrap them in PTFE tape like this. Whoops. And then we pop them, and I'm not going to be able to show you very well because I need both hands in there, and then we plonk this in, and then we do this. I'm just going to pause it while I reset. The coin is in here in the bottom of this conical shaper, and then this is going to now push it further down. And if I can get the angle right, hey, we just pushed it straight through the bottom. And what have we got here? Well, we have, because I know the size of that shrinking cone, I'm doing it one-handed. I hate doing all this one-handed. I could really try and edit this out, couldn't I? Hey, looky look. We have pretty much the finished article. Now, There's one more little thing we need to do to that to straighten those, edges out, and that's a tiny little tweak. That's it. That's all it needs. And that then, oh, it's not brought that one. It's not brought the edge out enough. It's nearly there. I'll give it a tiny. This is where we can cause the split. There we are. We have the finished teeny tiny ring. Little bit tapered there still. But let's see what it's like when it's polished up, shall we? Ooh. That's it, go on, you can do it. Oh, now. There we are. That. One down. 19 more to go. But that is the first of the 20. Some not insubstantial time later, I'm starting the process of polishing. Is that gonna focus? Yes, it is. I've just started the outside polishing of this one. I haven't done the reed very much, and as you'll see, I have not done the inside. This is the pre-polished condition. Yes, I know, but this is purely down to the annealing process, where we have to burn some pliability into the coin in order to get it into this shape. So I've now got these to polish, and then we do the reed and the inside. Long old job this has turned out to be. That wasn't quite as simple and straightforward. The problem being, these are very small to hold, and as a consequence I needed to deploy a special mandrel in order to hold it, because my aged arthritic fingers are such that I couldn't quite grab hold of them properly. So I deployed this mandrel in order to get them onto the wheel. But they seem to have come out quite nice. Now, obviously, because I've got to do the inside, I need to figure out a way of holding these on the outside so that I can get the little Dremel polishing mop on the inside. Yes. Think about that one. All polished inside and out, with various degrees of sort of, I say, luster patina, I suppose. Not looking too bad. They are now about to go into the ultrasonic cleaner for 10 minutes. Day is done. I actually looked back at some of the earlier video clips and the date on there. This has been an 8-week project. Wouldn't have thought it, would you? And I am very, very pleased that it's finished. These are now ready to be sold. They're all unique. Each one is slightly different from the other in terms of size and finish and whatever. So that's the 2020 20. No, 2020 2020. That's it. The year 2020. 20, the number of tiny little sixpence rings, and 20 quid each. So I'll be selling them along with, you'll also get a, come on, focus, an original sixpence, which is what these was made out of. And just to give you an idea how small they are, this is a penny, this is a current penny, and this is how tiny. And it's a real challenge. Oh, come on, focus. It's a real challenge, as I've said, and as I hope you'd have picked up. It's a massive challenge, and it's not one that I'm going to be repeating, believe me. My poor, aged, old arthritic fingers are not designed for doing this, but they is done. So that's the making of the 2020, and they are now finished. There's a link, I'll put a link to where you can buy them from, and it would be lovely if you did. And I'll also put another little video up about why I've done this project. Essentially, I'll put another video up, but essentially, with some of the patients I work with, especially the terminally ill, one of the things I often offer them or do with them is just do a recording of their thoughts and their feelings and where they're at and whatever. And then sometimes they'll want me to pass that on to their family members after they've died, which, you know, look, we're all going to die, but sometimes when you know, it gives you an opportunity to say some of those things. And if you can't, you can say them in a recording. But also what I want to do, so selling this lot, if I sell this lot by people sending me PayPal 20 quid friends and family, then there's 400 quid's worth here. If they do it via normal PayPal, there's probably about 320 quid's worth here after PayPal fees and whatever. But the purpose of this is to buy a little recording device, professional quality recording device, to record what I'm going to be calling the COVID Chronicles. Just how COVID-19 has affected people's lives, their businesses, their fears for the future, their hopes for the future. And what I thought would be really groovy, you can tell my age, can't you, saying groovy, would be if people bought one of these for a child born this year. You don't have to. I mean, it would make a nice charm on a charm bracelet, or make a nice pendant, or lots of things. But for a child born in 2020, everything is, yeah, they got a blank sheet. Everything's up for the grabs for their future, and it's our responsibility to make sure that they've got a future. So it's kind of, because sixpences are always thought to be lucky, the lucky sixpence, in my generation anyway. If you're younger than about 40, 50, you probably won't have a slightest clue what I'm talking about. But lucky sixpences were, yeah, that was the thing. So maybe a lucky sixpence, if you get one of these for a child, I wouldn't, I mean, they're probably perfect for an infant's ring finger, but I wouldn't, because they might swallow it. Yeah, anyway. So there we are. That's my idea, is I want to start doing some recordings, the COVID Chronicles, and I also will then be using that more professional recording device. Generally I do it on the phone, but the quality isn't very good, and I need something that I can use while socially distancing from patients, so I can be a good couple of meters away. So that's the reason for making these, and hopefully somebody will want to buy them. That would be very, very sweet and very, very nice. 20 quid includes postage, or you can come and collect from the boathouse. So that's the making of the 2020. got it right that time. And there'll be another video explaining more about the project. For now, that's it.